What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. First of all, today is day 3. I think it's day 3 of me fighting this cold or whatever I caught. Now I forgot to turn on one of these lights in the back, so my camera's probably gonna really be doing burpees right now. Look at it, right on call. I think sometimes when I turn the lights on back there, it helps it. Anyhow, let's get to today's video. So lately I've been doing more stuff on prison than more stuff on prison and more that I normally wouldn't get into. But I feel it's relevant, It's relevant for people to get a glimpse at what the hell they do not want to be a part of, right? And I saw in the comment section somebody had said, they had said, why don't you talk about the dirty politicking and pencil whipping that went on, right? And I'm going to do it as best I can, as comfortable as I can. From my point of view, of course. Now, I've seen other channels that are from outside of California. They talk about how California is all PC and California is all S&Y, and they talk bad about California, right? But they have no idea. They have no way of comprehending the politics of California. Okay. I think every faction believes that their faction has it the hardest, right? So with that said, I will say that in my humble opinion, the raza from Southern California have it the hardest in the state. And people will say, well, there's a bunch of you guys and this and this and that, so how could it be hard? That's exactly why. There's too many. If you would talk to anybody in prison right now on a level 4, probably even a level 3, and you would ask them, and they're from Southern California again, and you would ask them, would you rather be on a yard with 40 you guys, 40 or 150? 9 out of 10 is going to say, without any hesitation, 40. Because when you're 40 deep, you're streamlined. You don't have the time to focus on your internal rivalries. You don't have time to worry about who's working with who and the little jealous, envious little bullshit that goes on. When there's 150 on the yard, it becomes very cannibalistic. I mentioned in my last video, I think it was, where, and in several other videos, how it doesn't matter which faction you're from. Your biggest threat comes from within your own car. Every time. Yeah, there's going to be skirmishes here and there, but those die down. You always have your same ride you're rolling around with, and you got people in there that don't like you. You don't like them for whatever reason. And it could lead to some bad shit, right? Especially the raza from Southern California. It seems as though raza from Southern California, there's an arrogance that's bred into you. From the time you get jumped into your neighborhood, especially if you went to YA, there was an extreme amount of arrogance that was bred into you. And then you hit the joint. And depending on what you decide to be a part of in the joint, you are going to develop a sense of superiority. Doesn't mean it's an actuality, but it's your belief. And your beliefs are all that matter. You're going to conduct yourself humbly and respectfully, but you're going to think that you're above everybody except the legends. I think a lot of people don't realize that the S&Ys in California are full of, for the most part, when it comes to raza from Southern California, dudes with a drug habit, and dudes that got dirty politicked on. And in both cases, it's a sad thing to see. It honestly is. When you see a good motherfucker that just had a fucking habit and he was a pig and he got whacked out or pushed out because of his habit, it's fucked up. Especially if you grew up with the dude. You know, like maybe it doesn't have to be from your neighborhood. You know, you could have done time with him in several places, you know, maybe even as a juvenile, and you know what this dude's really about. And you know that disease, that habit, it got the best of him. But see, when you have cases like that, it's hard to have sympathy because the individual had a choice to either tighten up or just remain being a pig. And that's just the truth. But when you have dudes that were pushing a hard line, dudes that played everything by the books, didn't bend, didn't play favoritism, but got hated on because of other people's petty jealousies and envy, and they were able to outplay them, that is when you feel like, damn, man, what the fuck is this about? And unfortunately, you see it over and over. Now, I'll say this. People will want to blame the legends because at the end of the day, the legends have the overall authority to say, you know, what's going on. But when we're talking about decades where they were slammed down in Pelican Bay, like I mentioned before, they had people in place who were going to be their eyes and ears, right? They were going to do their bidding. Unfortunately, a lot of those guys mistook their responsibilities and assumed they were a whole lot bigger than what they were. And it became a very dangerous thing for a long time. And that's why, you know, I'm not going to go into it, but that's why there was a change in how the yards were taken care of because of tyrants, because of people washing people up that didn't have it coming. So the legends didn't know what was happening. They weren't there to see it. They are now. But back then they weren't. And you would see dudes that didn't have nothing coming either get whacked out or pushed out. You know, I told a story the other day. You guys can check it out. If I remember, I'll put the tab up here so you can click on it. But it's called, I think it's called When My Own Crew Tried to Turn on Me. For whatever reason, two people in my crew, there was 5 of us. 2 people in my crew, I apologize for this camera, it's fucking driving me crazy. 2 people in my crew decided to team up and try to go after me. In the process, they realized they couldn't silence my voice or weaken my authority. Unfortunately, in the process, they pushed out somebody else that was in the crew. I think the plan was to push me and him out. And here's the thing. That man right there, in no way was that man a coward. Actually, right after that, he wound up doing a pegada. He wound up whacking somebody on the yard. And he showed everybody where his heart was. But he was not a coward in any kind of way. What it was is he felt these 2 dudes teamed up, and the way they posed what their argument was going to be if they sent it up to the bay, he felt it was something that, even though he knew it was a half truth, he wasn't willing to roll the dice. Whereas me, on the other hand, I was like, do what you got to do. Let's see where the cards lay after that. And they realized it wasn't going to be a good move, and we continued doing business. Unfortunately, the other guy, he stepped down, and Like I said, he wound up doing a pegada, whacking the shit out of somebody on the yard. And what it was behind was because somebody had the audacity to speak on him and add say. And he came and he said, oh, is that right? Well, I want to do the next thing on the yard, and I'm going to sell up with this dude, and we're going to find out. So that shows you he wasn't a coward. This camera's going crazy. But I can't speak for any other group. And maybe one of these other channels would be interested in doing that. As far as, it's true. The CDC is I think it's 60-70% SNY now. But people got to understand, there's dudes that got pushed out or whacked out that continue to live with morals and still know how and will kill, and that's an unfortunate thing, but it is what it is. Prison, no matter where you are in prison, in the California Department of Corrections, it is extremely dangerous. Again, and I want to shout out Chill over at the 16 to Life channel. I see he's doing some very unbiased content regarding what's going on within the walls. It's a topic I refuse to touch on, but those of you that know, you guys know what he's talking about. You guys can go and see. And I'm going to say again, before I end this video, I wish everybody well in there, man. I know how it is. I know everybody's ready. Being ready is easy, man. But I just wish everybody luck, man. And for the families that have loved ones in Salinas Valley right now, I feel for you. I can't imagine what it's like to have a child in that position. But I will say that, like I've said, my mom committed suicide in 2000, in June of 2000. What happened in 2000? In February 23rd of 2000, we had the big riot in Pelican Bay. It was too much for my mom to deal with. So anyone who has loved ones behind the wall, don't take it to that extreme. Be there for your child. Be there for your loved one, your husband, your son, your uncle, your dad, whoever it is, man. They need your help. They need your support. They need your love. And whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Just know that, like everything else in life. With that, I'm going to bring this one to a close. Everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them. I'm out.